Welcome back to another inspiring episode of the No Limits Life podcast. I'm your host, Nordine, alongside my co-host, Ken.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
And today we are celebrating leadership, service, and a life driven by purpose. True leadership is not about standing above. It's about lifting others, building community, and leaving every place better than you found it. Today's guest embodies that spirit perfectly. Marcus Sydow is recently retired United States Air Force veteran, having served 24 years. Thank you for your service. With 17 of those years right here at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson. He's a proven leader who's created and led numerous volunteer and civic engagement initiatives, from Airman's Attic to Desert Thunder Squadron to countless others. Since retiring, Marcus has stayed true to his roots of service. He serves on the board of Ronald McDonald House, Charities of Southern Arizona, Desert Thunder Squadron, and his local HOA.
Those are fun.
Yes, they are. All while pursuing his MBA at the University of Arizona's Eller College of Management, where he was voted class president. He and his wife, Amy, right, who he met in Japan, interesting, are raising their family here in Tucson and serving their community as licensed real estate agents. Please welcome a man who leads with heart, service, and strength, Marcus Sydow. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Thank you for being here. Marcus, it's not only an honor to have you here, but I think it's a privilege, you know. We kicked off today's show with the quote, "True leadership is not about standing above, it's about lifting others, building community, and leaving every place better than you found them." How does that statement or sentiment reflect your own journey through service and leadership?
I've always found great pleasure in trying to help others not make the same mistakes I made, and basically just really doing my best to lead by example, which is one of the hardest things to do, and holding people accountable, including myself. Because if you're not leading by example, by holding yourself accountable, it's really hard to do the same with your subordinates.
You know, it's interesting, this word hard, you know, we tend to hear that a lot with guests and people we love when it comes to behavior modification and how to be a good person. You know, how is it hard to be a good person? Well, I want to go deep into that rhetoric. You know, when we say it's hard to do this, or when it comes to your well-being, health and well-being, whether it's fitness, wellness, teaching others to be good people, why is it hard to do the right thing? So that's my question to you.
I would say I found that the biggest difficulty that I have is being a good person with the people I love the most, because I think that relationship is already set, and I know that they love me. I don't find myself bringing my A game with them, and that's one of the things that I struggle with the most when I'm with a stranger or somebody that I feel like I can add value to. It's extremely easy to be super nice to them and say all the right things.
So you're saying it's harder to be who you are with your own family?
Extremely hard.
Why is that?
It's something that I'm working on every day, and I don't know why.
Could it be because they know you? We were talking about that earlier.
Familiarity.
The familiarity thing, a.k.a. the doctor's wife doesn't go to the doctor.
The mechanic never fixes his car.
Yeah. I hear you. I have the same issue with, I don't call it an issue. It's just, for me, when we do have conversations with my own kids or people that I love, and they tend to sort of debate me, I have a tendency to step back, take a deep breath, come back into the conversation, and just say, it's not about me.
Right.
It's about, you know, what we are about.
I think the attitude that you get back off from your first comment or interaction kind of sets the tone. And me as the adult, especially with my children, I have to make sure that I am leading by example and teaching them to be the way I want them to be.
24 years of service. I mean, this is has to be one of the hardest thing to do. I've never served, but thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you for
But
saying
when we say, we have to do this, we have to do that, can we reframe that into maybe that's going to help listeners and people who are watching, and remind me and remind us, has that effort, attached to it. How about get to? Because it's a privilege to be a father. It's a privilege to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a privilege to be walking. It's a privilege to do whatever we think we have to.
Yeah.
Changing that mindset
Mm-hmm.
into, I have to, into a get to. Maybe that takes away, that work that we're thinking about. Because we immediately think about the work it takes. I have to lose weight. I have to be on a diet. Maybe saying, I get to lose weight.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm still alive. I get to eat. Some people don't have food to eat.
Yeah.
So all of these things. And of course, in the military, you were in combat?
I was never in direct combat, no.
But you know people who were in combat. So it's easy for me to say things like that. Or I get to do this. At the end of the day, it's about survival. When you're there, you make sure not only that you stay alive, but you limit, damage. That's not always easy. So when that is translated to the real world, where you're dealing with family and showing them the right things to do because you've been there, and deep down you're asking yourself, why are they not listening? Because I've done it.
Right.
I'm here, and then instead of that, they go on their phones, try to ask the same question they can ask me, right? One of the first things that when you said, and I think you said 3 or 4 times the same word, hard.
Mm-hmm.
I want to dig down this statement or this word. When you say hard.
I would kind of when you're speaking about that, it reminds me of the reflection I've done at times, thinking about how when you're leading someone in the military, there's an already understatement about your hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm told to do something, when I was told to do something, there's no question. Mm-hmm. There could be some conversation about, hey, some semantics possibly, but once the order has been issued, that's done. But
you can't do the same with your family.
And now when you go home, you don't issue orders to your family, and they don't have a rank structure at home, unfortunately.
Have you ever thought that probably because you were in the Army, they think that you're already a leader that is strict, that command things, and they don't want to follow order because this is not the Army?
I don't know. My daughter's 15, and she's got a law degree, it seems like. I mean, she is.
Isn't that normal?
She understands.
Nordine knows all about that.
Oh, yeah.
And she understands how people work better than I do, I think. Mm-hmm. And she understands how to push people's buttons. When she wants something,
she debates with you.
Come heck or high water, she is getting it.
You're never right with her. Most of the time,
I'm not right.
Exactly.
Right.
So she got you. That you're the, like I said, familiarity. You're the father. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she's not going to listen. My son, I've been in fitness and wellness for over 3 decades. Still looks at advice on YouTube. You know what I mean? So
and he's living with a 2-time Mr. Universe.
And it's so well, to his credit, he asked me things, but that's what I'm saying. It's just that we never, I'm going to say it. Jesus was never the Lord in his hometown, basically.
Yeah.
That's what we as parents, we're dealing with. But tell us about, the people that you work with. You don't have the same problem, obviously, with them. It's like you said, it's easier for them. And that's because they haven't read your book. That's why, so they're listening. They're open. That ego is out of the way, you know.
I would say I'm a bit of a contradiction on a lot of different things. I definitely wear my emotions on my sleeve. I'm I feel a fairly sensitive person, but I have a barrier up around me in public, and when I'm at home, there's no barrier. And so there's no need for any of the small talk or anything. So it's very much another layer of that. My wife is Japanese, and so there's the cultural differences, the language differences, and men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So the second that I think I've got her figured out, she throws a curveball at me, and so it's an evolution.
There's something to be said about this. I always say America is the teenager of the world, and it's true. How does a teenager act? Irrationally sometimes. America is one of the most incredible countries in the world. I love it. I made it my home. But we have to face reality. American culture is not culture. It's a blend of cultures. So we have to understand that. When we understand that we live in a country that is full of traditions, cultures, and we understand them. We don't have to abide by them, but understanding them, respecting them, really gives us an edge, and then create our own culture. So your culture, when you mentioned the Japanese culture, which is one of the most ancient cultures, you embraced it, and that's your culture now, blended with your own folks, sort of culture. So that is to me, not everyone has that privilege of having. I do, because I'm from, different cultures, and my kids are, half, and their mom has some Finnish and German in her, and Berber, North African, and Saudi Arabian. So all of these cultures makes one culture.
Right.
So you have your own culture at home, and sometimes it can be confusing. But what do you say to people who have, are in the same situation as you are?
What do I say?
In people who are married to other cultures.
Oh, I think obviously I'm not perfect. There's always room for improvement. But I made it a dedication early on to really dive deep, immerse myself in the culture, and learn the language. I wanted to make sure that if I was going to be spending the rest of my life with somebody, I was able to communicate with them in their native tongue. And I felt like that was really the only way I was going to get.
Did you speak Japanese?
I do.
Oh my God!
I felt like that was going to be the only way I was going to meet her family.
I didn't even know that about you. That's awesome.
Love it.
I moved back from Japan in 2009, so I'm definitely more rusty than I was then. I lived in Japan for 7 years. It was by far the most formative years in my life. And I think that there's a lot to be said, not only about just traveling, but living in another country for a period of time during your formative years that has an experience, has a profound effect on your development and who you become.
So you lived in Japan?
7 years.
Yeah. It reminds me when I came here, you leave family behind. It's a new country, new language, new friends, new everything. It's scary. Absolutely scary. And I've done that many, many times, around the world. And I can
so cool.
I can understand where you're coming from.
I think it's made you into a person that's taken pieces of those cultures and applied them to your life to make you more effective at what you need to be effective at. And there's definitely things where you see it and you're like, wow, this is a little bit better here. Like they've got this figured out. Other things you're like, we've got it better at home.
Yeah, you become judgmental. And that's healthy. I mean, if you have some critiques about things that are working and things that are not working, but the idea is this: once you have multicultures and you understand others and other cultures, Because let's face it, we have an educational issue in when it comes to the world in America, because we have tendency to think that America is its own world. It's not. It's America. It's a country.
Right.
It's a big country, but it's a country nonetheless. Now we have more opportunity to reach out to the world via technology, but not only that, encouraging people to travel, to learn about cultures, to learn about other people is not only rewarding, but it brings up, your own awareness, and it educates you. I'm so happy that you were able to do that.
We've fallen in love with Mexico now, being just a short few hour drive away. And, there was concerns over safety or anything else, but I went to Mexico City in April of last year to do some consulting with the U of A program. It was life-changing, I think, for me. I felt I love the food. I love
again, that's stepping into another culture.
I think it is.
Which is close. Yeah.
They're
absolutely
similar, and Japanese culture is very popular in Mexico too.
Yeah, and I think there is a need to break the stigma. The following, danger of being, a traveler to Mexico. Like every country, we need to be careful. Yes, but we cannot stop ourselves from, traveling the world. It's really, there's a saying that says, travels is the antidote to ignorance. And it's true. You learn, through life.
I was just thinking about you and Nordine because I've traveled a little bit, but not anywhere near like the two of you guys have traveled. And your service for 24 years, I'm sure you have so much experience, life experience, worldly experience. So what would you say, what would be the biggest lesson you learned along the way? Something that you learned that you use throughout your life, and I guess it's a two-part question. Who taught you?
There's a saying that my grandmother, who's my closest family member in location and in emotion, she passed away in 21, but she lived in Phoenix, and so I was able to come down here for spring breaks and as a kid, and then fall in love with the desert in like its best time.
Right.
And then I moved out here for
July, August.
Yeah. But my grandma used to say she was kind of a grumpy person. And she loved to refer to herself as an strong old German lady. Mm-hmm. And she raised her family on a farm in northern Michigan, and she's a Depression baby. She wouldn't tell my kids any stories about her childhood, about her upbringing, she's like, you don't want to hear about this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they do. They want to. I want them to hear about your past. But she would say, it doesn't matter how dark of a cloud you find yourself under. There's a silver lining in there somewhere. Find it, focus on it. The outcome will be different.
Rise above the cloud.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
that's a lot of wisdom.
It's been the one thing that made my time in the military different. And there were, I can really honestly say, countless times where people would tell me that they didn't believe I was as optimistic as I am.
You are a very positive person.
They did not believe that I was as happy as I am.
Yeah.
In some of the worst situations that we found ourselves in, the human tendency was to revert towards complaining and just bringing up all of the negative aspects of what's going on around you. And I was focused on my goals. I was focused on what I was going to eat that day, my fitness, trying to make sure stuff at home was going okay, because that is the hardest part about being deployed. Mm-hmm. As soon as you leave, the washing machine breaks, or the AC goes out, or any major appliance that could possibly fail typically fails as soon as you deploy.
That's awful.
And so I really only had to take care of myself and my team and worry about what I was eating that day and my fitness. And so that narrow scope of not having to worry about driving anywhere, not having to worry about what you're going to prepare for food, shopping, cleaning, any of that, all of that stuff off the table made me able to hyper-focus on not just my job and the mission, but also taking care of myself. So I had a little goal each day to kind of chip away at, and that's what kept me positive. That's what I was focused on. And as I was making progress on those goals, I got feeling better. And so I would leave deployment as healthy as I possibly, like almost ever was, best shape I was in, mentally a wreck. But in general, physical shape, probably the best physical shape that I was in.
You had more time to do that, to take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you work 12 hours, you're off for 12 hours. I mean, that's all there is in a day.
Yeah.
And so it becomes a very simple life, and it's something that you don't want to have to do when you're in it. You can't wait to get out. But you'll find a lot of people when you're here that can't wait to go to play because they're tired of the daily routine. They just want, it's like once you're there, you want to leave, and once you're there, once you're here, you can't wait to go back.
Let me ask you this. Even leaders and high achievers face issues. So what's the one issue that your personal issue are you dealing with right now? In terms of, I'm not saying tell us everything about, what bothers you, but the one thing that people can take from you and maybe they dealing with the same thing.
I think we discussed it a little bit earlier, but it is me not being able to be the same person that I am outside of home that I am at home. And Emmy, my much better half, she sees it, she feels it. She's like, you're so nice to everybody else.
But what stops you from being who you are with other people? Is it a protection, the shield that you
No, I
put
feel
up?
like actually this may sound weird to say, but I feel like I'm more of myself outside of home when I'm optimistic and happy and interacting with people.
So, but the one thing that you keep on saying is that you wish you could be
exact same energy
as you are at home. Mm-hmm. Okay, with others.
Yes.
Okay. What is that issue that we need to bring to light here? Is it a question of awareness, a question of fear, anxiety?
I think I think there is definitely a certain level of anxiety, but I would say that it's a temper thing. It's more of aggression, and it's so much more buffed, and there's so much more of a cushion before I get to that point with strangers or anybody outside of home than at home. At home, it's like directly to the point. Like just say what's on your mind. Don't even hesitate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because, for me, and I had to learn it, in a way that was conducive to my own health and well-being, the AKA saying yes to others, most of the time saying no to yourself. When you say yes to others, you may be saying no to yourself, no to your well-being. So it's the ability to learn, and that's whether it's a family with your children, your wife, or outside when people are taking too much of your time. People are want a piece of you all the time. The ability to say no is actually a yes for you, a yes to your well-being, a yes to do things that are conducive to everything that you believe in.
I would say that all of my mistakes I learned the hard way, and I think that's what.
Don't we all, right?
I think that's what makes me a little bit of a slightly of a different breed and be so passionate and interested in entrepreneurship is I'm very risk tolerant. Emmy, not so much. And so, being a dreamer and her being a realist is a big yin yang, but it also, it levels us out.
Yeah.
I think it levels us out.
Absolutely.
But my, what really got us into the situation more than anything over the last, since I retired was me being a networker and always wanting to be around people. A lot of ideas and a lot of good opportunities come my way. And so I find myself wanting to say yes and getting a lot better at saying no, at least over the last year. But up until then, it was like, yeah, let's do it. And my wife said, if I hear the word partnership one more time...
how about the
balance them out?
Complimenting. Next time you talk to your wife and you have the urge of saying partnership, to say, we are complimenting.
I like it.
You'll see. Because she has a certain, position, and she has a certain degree of knowledge in her own life.
Yes.
And which perhaps you're missing, and vice versa. So you complement each other.
I like it.
You know,
No, I think that's a really good.
Long-lasting relationship are based on complementing each other,
Right.
are based on separateness, on togetherness, to make it last. Because if you don't understand your partner or the person who's complimenting you, you're not understanding yourself. So there's a level of work an inner work that needs to be done, and there's value in understanding, who are living with us, so we work with. Ken and I, we understand each other, and sometimes things happen. We talk about it, we compliment you.
Right.
What I don't have, he has. What he doesn't have, I have.
Yep.
And same with Emilio. It's the same thing. So
I definitely don't know how to work all this stuff Emilio knows how to work. He's got a lot of buttons over there.
Yeah.
So, before we wrap it up, and it's a shame that we couldn't talk more, but how do we get so lucky to have you here today?
That's a good question. I feel like I should have been asking that question. I would like to ask you that. Like, why did you think it would be valuable to have me and to meet me?
24 years of service.
Yeah, and
a lot of experience.
I think Marcus, you bring, and that's what I like about you. You're humble. You bring knowledge. You bring life experience, and that is what is the No Limits Life show. It's about bringing awareness. It's about creating tools and sharing tools to make other lives better. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's a short but powerful show.
I'd love to be back. Love to talk to you guys again. Thank you for the opportunity. And, Tucson is such a cool city, such a cool town. And I was telling Emilio earlier that the military made me come here. Mm-hmm. The people are keeping me here. And Emmy as well. Like, she absolutely loves it, doesn't want to go anywhere. We found home in Tucson.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to wrap it up, and we just wanted to thank you, first of all, Marcus, that you joined us today. And if you enjoyed this today, please pass it along, share it, subscribe, like it, and please join us for more No Limits Life. Thanks.